Let's start with
They
Joe.
make the clear,
Hey,
bro.
we're recording. We're recording.
He's not even catching a body with that.
We're recording.
We're recording. Catch a body with a damn
episode 63. We're recording. Episode 63.
You can catch a body with
Woodcrest
a
Certified Podcast. Come on. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe as Chris keeps talking about a topic that we're going to talk about as we're going.
Like, yo, Rook is very. You got big colonizer energy, bro. Can you let me finish my sentence,
I'm just trying to
his character.
I know who your ancestors are, bro.
Bro, the thoughtfulness that you want to share to the conversation, Chris. I just want to make sure it's recorded. Okay, so I'm looking out for you.
And I'm talking.
Free, she throwing that ass. I'm up for coming in last. Went to the bank, happy alive. Nigga fuck love, rather by rap. Nigga fuck love, rather by rap.
Episode 63, Woodcrest Certified. We figured out what we're going to talk about, gang. Shout out to everyone on Twitch that's watching. Feel free, please comment and engage, and be happy to talk about anything you guys have if you have any questions as well. Anyway, let's just start with Ja, because we already started there. I want to just start there. Warrant-Morant was out in Denver, and instead of preparing for the game, my man was on Instagram Live with some strippers and a little 22 on them.
A little piece.
Why you strapped to the strip club, bro? Like,
huh? This is several days after we found out he beat up like a 15-year-old at a mall and like threatened a mall cop.
Man, he beat up a 17. He beat up a 17-year-old and then pointed a gun at him. This man has some gun issues,
bro. This man got a rap sheet.
Yeah, facts. And it's all within like 6 months.
Not even, bro.
Like 3 weeks.
like it's all jokes aside though, I really hope that the right people get around this nigga, because he got like super potential. And obviously he's the bag. He's the person that's supporting his community, his family. And it'll suck to see like the nigga like lose all of it over taking rap music too seriously, bro. Like nigga, like
I got a different take on that shit. And normally I'm no who be trying to like, say the piece. Fuck that nigga. That nigga stupid. Like, bro, you from the suburbs. You had a hella amazing upbringing. Your parents coached you into making it to the NBA, and now you want to portray an image of something you're not, and you got this big ass contract. Like, bro, sit the fuck down. Like, go hoop, make your money, and go home, my nigga.
Is that shit like actually confirmed though? Like, I saw people talking like there's that family picture, right, of him in a fucking polo, right, and his family's like a little dressed up, and they're like, "Yo, Warrant-Morant comes from a great fucking wealthy family." Like, is that confirmed? Because like anyone could go just put on polos and shit, and
the nigga live in the same neighborhood as his parents. It's a big ass house. Then his parents' house down the street, big as hell. Like, nigga, you made it. Now. Relax.
But I'm saying, like, is that now or was that always?
Bro, all I know is in his home growing up, I saw something about him. He had a full court basketball court in his backyard. Like,
bro, you're not broke.
I don't know nobody from the slums like with a full court in their backyard.
I'm gonna be honest here. So I had a boy, or you know him, Danny Patrick, that like his dad worked in concrete.
Patrick,
so, like,
wait, who's Patrick?
Patrick from KCA.
I know who you're talking about.
Patrick Starr?
I fucking hate this guy. Well, anyway, his dad worked in concrete, so like he was able to build a basketball court.
This is what I contribute to the podcast, okay?
We don't want it.
It's pissing me off because this is gonna become a TikTok, bro. This is gonna horrible.
Mike gonna clip that shit.
Well, I'm saying. Anyway.
I think I remember. Oh, I remember Patrick. Yeah, I remember Patrick.
He's tall.
Yeah. He hooped, right?
Yeah, and like they had a basketball court in their backyard, but it's because his dad literally just built it by hand.
But where the fuck did he
community
stay
did
at?
live? Didn't he stay like
And Kissimmee?
You talking about Pat?
No, the person you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Somewhere in Kissimmee, like a little outside.
Well, what point were you making? That he got a basketball court? So
yeah, I'm just saying, like, just because someone had, like, is it a legit fucking basketball court, like professionally made basketball court? I'm just saying, just having a basketball court in your backyard doesn't really mean shit.
Bro, if you have
the nigga from Kissimmee, that didn't help your case, my nigga. Like, it's not too much.
Again, like
I'm saying it's not like he's coming from money.
You could be broke as fucking live in Kissimmee, bro. Come on.
No, but I'm saying it's not even broke and being from the hood is two different things. It's not synonymous with each other because I know motherfuckers that live in the hood that drive a Urus. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying he didn't come from a fucked up environment for real. Like to even be doing the shit that he doing now. And now he's manipulating little kids to thinking like this shit cool. He could have done more damage with pepper spray than with that last deuce he was flagging around. Like, put that shit away, my nigga. Like, fuck. Like,
yeah,
bro,
on that part though, that shit is wild. It's like it just begs the question, like, why? You know,
he's trying to be cool. It's that cool guy effect that a lot of people from Kissimmee be on. Like, niggas be gangbanging in Kissimmee. It's like, my nigga, like,
why?
Most of the world don't even know Kissimmee even exists, my nigga. Go home, go to school, gangbang your books, my nigga.
Go read them.
And become a productive member of society. You're not even from a bad environment. Like, what's the problem? Like, or play GTA, bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, P is not trying to hear none of that shit.
Cause I come from that shit for real, and that shit not cute. You get what I'm saying? Like, where you go trick or treating and a motherfucker beat you the fuck up and take your candy. A grown ass nigga taking little kids' candy and think that shit cute, and then you have motherfuckers that's not from that for real portraying that image like that shit cute. Niggas die behind that shit. Like. And the people that's gonna be affected is not even gonna be people that could even make it to the NBA like him. You know, I like the memes though. The memes funny as fuck. Like,
that's
funny. Like,
I think you said that John Wick one. That's
yeah.
Oh, I saw this one tweet that said Shannon Sharp is lucky to be alive after that run-in with the Morant crime organization.
Bro, there's nothing funnier than Twitter, bro. Twitter can take anything and make it fucking hilarious. It's great. I'm a big fan. What are your guys' thoughts on? So I saw David, your brother Stu, said Warrant. So Mello, there's a clip that I just released from a Mello podcast interview, and dude was saying that like the NBA knows everything, right? Like they got undercovers. They got like connects with the FBI. Like they know who you're with, their whole story, and what you're doing at all times. Do you think that shit's wild?
Makes sense.
No, I mean you're a huge investment. I mean, is it maybe an invasion of privacy? Probably, but like you're a huge investment to them niggas. Like I might want to do that shit too.
Fair
enough. If I'm investing at least $10 million to a motherfucker, I need to know everything. Cause I need to recoup that motherfucker. Like,
let alone
I want to know every girl. I want to know all the people that are in your house. I want to know you like to hang out. I want to know who your favorite character in Super Smash Bros. I'm laughing because I seen a little caption about Gilbert Arenas speaking on the situation, and they're saying, "Oh, like his perspective." And I apologize if I butcher it, but he was saying essentially that like owners ignore everything else. Like, why can't they ignore this? And I'm like, nigga, like you're the last person to be talking. You about to shoot a nigga over $200?
Yeah.
In the locker room.
Brought a gun to the locker room.
You are not the proper representative in this situation. Nobody trying to hear what the fuck your opinion is, nigga. We seen how you react, bro. Like, you would have beat up that 15-year-old too. You're talking about retroactively. If I would have beat up a 15-year-old, the NBA shouldn't worry about it. Like, nigga, what?
That's just funny. No, I mean now Ja's out indefinitely, which again, who knows how long that's actually gonna be. That's gonna drastically. I mean, I guess I don't know how drastically because they have a decent lead. The Grizzlies do at number 2 right now out west, but
shout out to Ja Morant for securing Denver's #1 seed, bro. Shout out to that nigga.
Dude, the Celtics keep losing, and I love it for the Bucks because we're just getting more room for that #1 seed too.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that your Embiid should be lower than Giannis' take. It didn't look that good after the Sixers gave him that L, though.
I mean, bro, it's one game. Giannis is literally
No,
still the best.
But you didn't see Ricky text anything the next day, though.
The fuck was I gonna say? We lost.
Yeah, exactly. You wasn't. There was no narrative that Giannis should be number 2 that day.
I mean, okay.
Danny said, keep the same energy, bitch.
Basically,
I'm just saying, like,
I heard.
What am I gonna talk about? Like, what am I gonna say?
He says only one game.
I'm saying Giannis still had more. Giannis still had more points and more rebounds than Embiid. I don't give a fuck.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like hearing so often that Joel Embiid is better than Jokic or more deserving of the MVP than Jokic has got me like to a point where I might not be fucking with Embiid as much as I
should. Bro, it's just like, I mean, yeah. So
Giannis did have that fake triple-double.
He did. They took it away. It's okay. That shit was funny though. Low-key.
That nigga said.
I got the rebound. I got the triple-double. Yeah. No. But yeah, Dan, I mean, that shit doesn't hurt anything in my opinion. Again, Giannis outscored him. So I don't give a fuck. And they're still the #1 seed in the East. So the point still is there. Like, fuck what the Sixers are doing. They're a fake good team, bro. Like, I really...
Why everybody hates on the Sixers, bro? Like,
how are they a fake good team? They just beat your team.
Because
we're also a fake good team sometimes.
They glorified tanking like some hoes. And what has that resulted in? Not shit.
I just think they're obnoxious. And between Embiid and Harden's foul hunting, it makes for very frustrating basketball to watch.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like when Embiid ends up on the floor, I really think it's genuine. Like I don't think that nigga got any balance.
Nah, bro, he be foul hunting like a motherfucker.
That man's a flopper, bro.
He's a big flopper.
He get in a post and his footwork's impeccable, bro. Somebody poke him just a little bit, bro. He's you know what I mean? Like not a roller coaster, man.
Like contrary to what Mr. Dos Santos is over here talking about.
Stop that, bro.
The Sixers have a lot of talent. And they're in a position where they could beat anybody in the East. Have they done it? No. But they can. They could beat anybody in the East in a 7-game series. So, like, to say that the tanking thing didn't work, I don't know.
Did it?
I mean, technically, in theory, it didn't work. They
tanked for Ben Simmons. And
Ben Simmons got them James Harden, I guess.
They tanked and they got a really good team. Like that's what they were trying to do.
How many players? So they they drafted Embiid. Obviously, they drafted Maxey,
Markelle Fultz.
I'm just saying
traded. Not even there. I'm talking about like look at their current roster. Like what did the tank actually do?
What did Fultz contribute to that roster? Like what did they get for Fultz? What did they get for Nerlens Noel that they should be drafted? What did they get for?
Nigga, they have a monster team right now.
Yeah, but it's not due to the tank though in their draft.
Yeah.
Like their main. What are we talking about here? Their best player is Joel Embiid. You pray that every 20 years you draft a player as good as Joel Embiid. It's like if you're telling me,
but they tanked for years with Embiid.
No, they didn't.
They're 1 out of 4. You know what I'm saying?
They tanked. They drafted Embiid, and Embiid didn't play for 2 years, bro. And as soon as Embiid played, as soon as he put in a full season, they were already like a playoff team, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
So they tanked to make the playoffs.
It clearly worked, bro. Like,
bro.
Niggas is like, I'm telling you, like. Listen, I'm not gonna address Danny. I'm not gonna address Dave. I'm not gonna address Rook because I'll deal with y'all niggas later. I want to address David because David represents so much I fucks with you as a person, and I consider you a brother of mine. But you represent so much of what I hate about the NBA community. I hate y'all niggas so much. Oh my God.
What?
Because it's like the whole thing is, well, if you're gonna tank, you have to win a championship. It's like, well, nigga, like there's a lot of factors to winning a championship. Like success, to me, if we're measuring success as you have to win a championship or you're not successful, I think that's a stupid barometer for success.
All right, I'll even soften it a little bit. They haven't even reached the conference finals.
But they were one shot. They were one Kawhi Leonard shot away. You could argue that year.
Nigga, they like Kawhi, the fucking ball bounced in there, bro, and then Toronto went on to win the championship, bro.
and then Jimmy left. You know what I'm saying? If they keep Jimmy instead of Ben,
there's so much circumstance to winning a championship or even advancing in the playoffs. My whole thing,
like the Bucks only won because the Nets were injured.
No. Listen. My whole thing is: are you constructing a good team? Are you putting your team in a position to win? And that's what the Sixers did. Like, the Denver Nuggets might not win a championship, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to hear about it because you guys are some hateful-ass niggas, right? But are they in a position? Are they in a position where they can win a championship? The answer is yes. So management did exactly what they were supposed to do. And the Sixers are in the same position right now.
They're still going to lose.
Yeah, David, be mad, but I'm right.
You chose Tobias Harris over me being Jimmy Butler. I don't know, man.
I mean, that was a bad move. That was a stumble. I agree with that. But like at the end of the day, they got a really good roster.
It's still Bucks and 6 on this side.
Yeah, I know, bro. Whatever. It's funny because like I'm not even gonna say it.
No, say it, bro. Go ahead.
I'm not even gonna say it.
No, say it,
bro. I'll show some restraint. You're lucky I didn't drink more, bro. You're lucky. You're so fucking lucky. You better buy that Jeep, bitch ass nigga.
All I'm saying is, them Bucks are nice, bro. Now that Kenny's not here to call me a racist, Jay Crowder makes our roster a lot more versatile. I'm very excited for the playoffs. I think this is the best playoff roster we've had thus far. So, I mean, you got to get a little lucky in the playoffs. So, like, that part is true, Chris. I mean, I feel, John Horst talks about it all the time, that when it comes to being successful, especially in the playoffs, like, you got to get a little lucky. And it's the same in football, too. I feel like you got to get a little lucky in football, too, during the playoffs to win a championship. So, it just comes down to who's the healthiest and who's a little bit lucky. Who's the luckiest, sort of.
Yeah,
you gotta be in a position where you can win, and things have to line up correctly, bro.
Yeah,
give Pat Mahomes a lot of drugs on the sideline.
If Giannis isn't available in the playoffs, what's the chances of the Bucks winning anything?
Well, technically, we didn't have him for 2 games against the Hawks, and we went to the finals. So.
All right, so if Giannis isn't available in the playoffs, what's your chances of winning the finals?
No. I mean, none. But I'm just saying.
But what if their opponents in the same division, Anthony? Did you ever think about that?
Nah, that's different than football, bro.
Oh, okay.
Bro, I really don't think that was a wild take.
Dude, I debunked it immediately, and then you're like, no, the logic doesn't apply to those teams.
It doesn't.
You're
I actually don't remember
I can't say that.
I don't remember what your rebuttal.
I don't remember the rebuttal too, David. Actually,
I mentioned the Giants and the Eagles. The Eagles beat the shit out of the Giants. They're in the same division, and then the Seahawks and the 49ers. 49ers beat the shit out of the Seahawks.
Oh, you're talking about. Sorry, I thought you were talking about me saying
they're in the same division. So
sorry, I thought you were talking about me saying Lamar needs to get out of the conference. That's what it was. All right.
Oh, that's another. But whatever.
I mean, to be fair. If we're considering all things, there's a considerable gap between the 49ers and the Seahawks and the Eagles and the Giants.
So they're in the same division, though.
There's a considerable gap versus the Ravens, who are actually a pretty good fucking team.
Ravens without Lamar Jackson.
Are also a really good team. Even without Lamar Jackson, they're still a dangerous team. Like they're pretty fucking good.
Are they?
I mean, they took the Bengals to the fucking fourth quarter. They're pretty fucking good. I mean, I think that's an objective statement at this point, nigga.
Dude, that same exact team lost to the Steelers like the 2 weeks prior, and the Steelers are trash.
You can't have your cake and eat it too, David. Like, are they trash? Or is Tyler Huntley better than Lamar Jackson? Like, which one is it?
I'm telling you that the Ravens without Lamar Jackson are not good.
So the Bengals are also not good?
You don't want to hear what I think about the Bengals, bro.
So the Bengals are also not good. The team that ended up going to the fucking conference championship against the Chiefs, they're not good.
I'm withholding judgment.
All right, nigga. Let's move on to the next topic before I gotta flame this little bitch ass nigga.
Oh wow!
Time out, bro. I'm not a bitch ass nigga. So let's get with the.
You're not a bitch ass nigga. You just be having some hot takes.
Nah, you just know I don't fuck with the Bengals, bro. So it's like, you really want me to go? You want me to elaborate on that? Like,
I want you to be objective, but I know that's a fucking stretch. So
fuck,
keep them moving.
Fuck the Bengals and fuck objectivity, bro.
All right. But then yesterday,
objectivity is fundamental to growth, David. It's fundamental to growth. So whatever.
The lie detector determined that was a lie, David.
What's a lie?
So, I'm not sure, but whatever you said.
Oh, that's my lie. Yo, that's the one that scarred me today, bro.
We gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it on camera.
Manolo, please be weary of what you respond to.
Oh, that's just funny. That's just fucking funny. All right, transitioning here. So David, you sent a link today about shit going on in El Salvador. And it brought up an interesting question. Do you want to elaborate first, David, on what's going on out there?
Yeah, elaborate.
I learned that in El Salvador, which is a Latin American country in South America.
Can confirm,
that the gangs are essentially the government out there. Like, I read that even if like a business owner wanted to like open up a business where the gang like operates, like they had to pay a tax to the gang in order to keep the business up and like stay alive. Like, the gangs were infiltrating like the infrastructure, essentially, making life really dangerous and tough for all the citizens of that country. And then under the new administration, anybody that even has like an MS-13 tattoo or is affiliated with those guys is like they've been imprisoned in what they're calling a mega prison, where they're locked in a room essentially the entirety of the day. And then prior to this administration, El Salvador was ranked #1 in the world as far as worst murder rate in the world.
Oh, shit.
And after these changes have taken place, their ranking on that list has dropped significantly, making the country more habitable, to its citizens and safer. So that's what I learned about El Salvador under their new under their new president.
Whoa! So that begs the question that Chris brought up: if mass incarceration could work in El Salvador, why doesn't it work here in America? The floor is yours. Because they're racist.
I don't know. I was thinking like maybe the population has something to do with it. Like, America's got 330 million people versus, and then it's different. They don't
like you
they don't line up like
apply that on a micro scale though. Like, they tried mass incarceration in Chicago and it didn't work.
How long do they even keep? I don't know if it said in the article or not, but like, how long do they keep these dudes locked up?
For a minute. You talking about in El Salvador?
Yeah.
For a minute, bro.
They're probably gonna be in there for life.
For life. You see, I just don't think you could get away with that in America.
But we do, though. Niggas, we do. Yes. America is probably one of the worst countries in the world when it comes to handing out sentences. Like, they catch you with a bag of crack, nigga. They'll put you away for like 20.
No, I feel that, but I'm saying like having as strict as like, yo, if you have a tat of these people, like, you're getting locked up for life. Like, I don't think that shit could, even to that level, I don't think that could fly out here.
Yeah, they don't have amendments out there in El Salvador, but they don't got freedom of speech.
I mean, they kind of do that here too, though. Motherfuckers get locked up for a book bag. Like the fuck, you talking about a tattoo?
So
Like,
that's actually what the conclusion that I reached. Like I actually talked to my boss about this and everything. And like I think the reason these things are effective in other countries is because they're more okay with taking away people's rights in other countries. And they're just like, fuck it, like I don't care if we get it wrong. We're probably gonna get it right more times than we get it wrong, and we're just gonna throw all you motherfuckers in jail. Where in this country, you can't really do that, and maybe that's why like we're like the bureaucracy is maybe what stops it from being effective. Maybe, I don't know.
I also think it would be like just way more dangerous out here. Cause I mean, I'm gonna keep it a stack. Like I wouldn't trust law enforcement out here to be able to navigate that. I mean, there's already so much prejudice that's out there. So like you introduce that shit and be like, I don't know. I just don't think that would be good for this country.
I think
I
over
mean,
there too, they actually locking up the right people. Like them gang members is terrorizing people. We're gonna lock them up. And the
I
U.S.
mean,
sometimes
you say that, but like I don't think that's the case at all. I think they're just grabbing everybody.
Well, when you
that's
say
part
everybody,
of
you mean
that's part
everybody
of the
that's
game.
right.
Like I think if you're in a certain community and you look a certain way, you're going to jail.
Right, look a
That's it.
certain way. Like, yeah, if you got an MS-13 tattoo, then
Yeah.
yes.
Like what I'm saying is that like I think you guys are applying like bias because you see all the cases here in this country. Because like I know for a fact in other countries they get it wrong all the motherfucking time, and there's no activist groups that are going to defend you. Like you're just going to die in jail. It is what it is. Like I know that's happened in El Salvador just by like the nature of fucking numbers. Like I know it's happening. um, yeah, like I just think that there's really nobody who gives a fuck. Like if they get like a 60% success rate, they'll be okay with that. Even if 40% of the people who are in jail aren't supposed to be there.
I mean, I think it's fear mongering too, because when you actually, a lot of times in the United States, in certain areas, especially like back then, like if you watch certain shows or you read up on certain shit, a lot of people they almost had incentives to do crimes. Like it used to be top guys that like would get locked up for a day and come right back out because they're giving money to DEA, ATF, all that other shit. Over there, they're like, we don't want that bullshit here. So whatever bullshit you on, we're finna lock you up. Like, so that's gonna incentivize. Like, I'm not gonna do none of that shit. Like, or it's a lot of people right now because they already been doing it anyways. Like, they're gonna continue to do it because they got away with it for so fucking long. But in US, it's like I feel like they just get it wrong more often than none, and a lot of people is just committing crimes, so it don't matter at that point. So that's why Miami, Chicago, places in Alabama, crime rate's gonna be high because it don't matter. Like we
What do
gonna
you mean?
get
You're gonna have to elaborate on that.
because like I'm gonna get you. There's some people like I know people personally, especially in Orlando. Like you'll have a better chance of getting locked up for speeding than you do moving weight. Like until they finally want to deal with you, I guess. Like they're like the Rico shit with fucking YSL. You know they allowed them to commit crimes for 11 years before they even caught them. Of course, that's gonna increase the crime rate.
Right,
11
but like
years.
the whole thing is that it's a strategy, right? And like I think that goes into what I'm saying is the bureaucracy of it, because you have to have a strong case in order to actually get these guys locked up, right? So like in El Salvador, they're not waiting for a case. They're like, you kind of look like what I'm looking for, so I'm going to throw you in jail. In Atlanta, they're like, we're going to make sure we have something solid so that when we finally make it official, it's 100% that these niggas are going to go to jail. And it's crazy because I was going to use Atlanta as an example because I feel like you're going to get a bunch of these dudes off the streets, right? But like, how much do you think that's going to affect crime? Because I believe, based off of the other cities in the United States, there's going to be a whole new generation that's just going to jump in and replace the people who are gone now.
But
so like nothing's going to change.
So that's actually what I wanted to say too. Like we're saying it works, but like how long has this actually? What's the span that this statistic has been going on, and like, does it really work? Like, what's the timetable to know that it does work for sure, or like, will gangs just resurface again and like it didn't work? You know?
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's what my boss was saying. So, like, I don't know if you guys went into the details of what these guys. According to my boss, I didn't read much about this. He was explaining it to me. But what he's saying is that like these guys are in jail and they're treating them like less than scum, right? Like these guys are all like lined up. They're not. They got to be like bowed down. They're like crotch to ass, like face down against the next dude's back. Like they're treating them like shit. And his thing is, eventually, a lot of these low-level guys are gonna get out, and they're gonna get out of jail way fucking angrier and way worse, right? So right now, what he's saying is that it's a temporary solution, but somewhere down the line, a bunch of these niggas are gonna be released into the streets, and they're gonna be more disciplined, they're gonna be more organized, and they're gonna be way more fucking angry. So there's also a chance that this is not a real solution. This is kind of just like a Band-Aid, according to my boss.
That shit kind of just reminded me
Same
of
thing could backfire, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, maybe wouldn't it just turn into a cycle at that point? Like these people, low-level people get out, they're gonna start multiplying in numbers, and then there's gonna be another mass incarceration. And then we wait. You know what I'm saying?
That's essentially what's happening in this country. Like here in this country, like the biggest recruitment for gangs happens in jails, right? Like that's where the jails, like that's where the gangs are the strongest, are in jail. So like you end up going to jail for maybe some low level shit. Like maybe you're in a gang, but you're doing some low level shit. You're going to go to jail and you're going to become a lot harder. Or maybe you might not even be in a gang. And you end up going to jail and you feel like you have to join a gang in order to protect yourself. Now, when you're out in population, when you're out, like, you're a fucking gang member. You know what I mean? It's almost like shooting yourself in the foot.
That shit, you know? When you're talking about, like, them just scooping up the low-level criminals and stuff, remind me of that scene in The Dark Knight. Yeah.
Bro, I swear to God, I was like, in my head, there was a timer to when Rookie was going to mention The Dark Knight. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen.
Stop thinking about me, bro. That's weird.
Tammy made a comment that's interesting as hell.
Yeah. So Charlie said, thoughts about the people in the U.S. trying to label the cartel as terrorists, kind of our way to go around human rights and trying to copy that idea a little bit.
And I'm not going to lie, based off of what I understand, and I understand very little. So Charlie, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm willing to admit that. But like, the cartels are pretty fucking intense. Like, they do some crazy ass shit. I think to the point where it's fair to label them terrorists.
Yeah, but the people in the U.S. do some intense ass shit too.
Like, who are you referring to?
Just like in general, we got like mass shootings and all that crazy shit. But I think it was more in the sense like, they so quick to label somebody else terrorist when there's a lot of fucked up ass shit going on here too. Like not too long ago, 800,000 people went missing. Like that's not no terror ass shit. That's not.
Wait,
that's
here?
not some in the United States. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like do the research. Like probably 6 to 8 years ago. Like around that time frame. Like that's not no individual ass shit that's going on when all the people is going missing. That's some terrorist ass shit too.
Is that like some sex trafficking type shit?
Probably, most likely, because you know we're one of the biggest countries for that shit.
Well, like sex trafficking isn't terrorism. Like terrorism is a specific thing. Like the guy who shot up the Walmart down in El Paso, that's terrorism. The guy who shot up the Buffalo Walmart, that's terrorism. 1,000%. That's exactly what it is. The guy who shot up the synagogue, the guy who shot up the church in Charleston, that's terrorism. That is literally the label of terrorism. But there's times like the guy who ended up in Ohio and he shot up like the bar where his sister worked at. Like, I don't know if we can label that terrorism. Like, it's just like, what was his motivation? Like, was he trying to like instill fear in people? Or was this just a crazy person who wanted to die and he wanted to take a bunch of people with him? I don't know.
I had a terrorist shoot up my house with shaving cream.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like, when it comes to the cartel, like listen, when it comes to the cartel, though, like literally, that's their MO. Their MO is I'm gonna make you so scared of me that you're gonna do exactly what I say. Like that's literally the definition of terrorism.
Oh, he wants to scoot past that so fast.
Oh, nigga,
what makes it worse is that one picture of Chris too. Like,
oh, Kenny. But I get it. I get it that they fear mongering all that, and it's fucked up and all that shit. But it's a lot of fucked up. I think 800,000 people going missing, regardless if it's sex trafficking or not. That's kind of terrorism too, because that's fear mongering. Like you're making people scared of even leaving the crib at that point, ain't it?
I mean, I think context matters. Like, is it like an organized thing? Is that like separate occasions? Is it 800,000 people across the entire nation, or is it just one place? Like,
even if it's across the nation, that's a lot of fucking people. That's not no small number. Like,
no, I get you, but if it's 800,000 different cases, like they're not all different terrorists. You know what I mean? It's just like
no, but. Even if you don't, let's say context do matter. Even if you don't know the full extent of the context, that's not 800,000 different cases now. Like, that's wild. Like, there's going to be big groups somewhere. Like, even if we use common sense, we shoot a dart somewhere, there's going to be at least, you know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, we'll find out when that list comes out.
I'll tell you what is you might be able to label as terrorism. Like, when women are crossing the border, what they do is like they call them mules, and they tell them like they're supposed to be like the people who are supposed to help them get to the side. And what they do is that they tell them that they have their paperwork, and they tell them they bring them here, and they tell them in order to earn their paperwork, they have to do things. And that's when these girls end up on the streets making money for them. Like, you can argue that that's a form of terrorism because again, like you're using fear in order to get what you want. But like, if some weirdo just kidnaps a person, and I hate to like marginalize it because it's not like it's a big deal. I get what you're saying, but like if some weirdo just kidnaps people for the sake of kidnapping people, that's not terrorism because there's no motivation behind it. It's just a weirdo doing some really sick shit. You know what I mean?
No, of course, but I'm saying, I mean, more info may or may not come out because you know the U.S. like to hide shit. So always like some crazy shit happens, they bury the motherfucker and they quick to label somebody. Oh my God, they're sick people. It's like, yeah, kind of sick too. Like, like, or they go overseas and bomb other countries and have the audacity to label these people that's within their own other countries terrorists, and it's like, I mean, you're over there bombing them. How are you not the terrorist? But you know, like, that's not weird. Like,
America.
Yeah.
The Sir Manny says the people love Chapo. That's why he was able to hide for so long. Then
right.
Sean Penn fucked it up. And during COVID, parts of Mexico were shut down by the cartel, not the government.
It's true, bro. When I went to Mexico, I was notified about some places that were like no-fly zones, bro. Like, if you're not with them, like,
what? That shit is crazy, bro.
I said that was wild. That trip you took, man. That shit was hot boy out there.
Because I went to Mexico. Anyways, but yes, there's places in Mexico where if you're not affiliated with them, you need to do all you can to refrain from entering those areas.
There was actually a city in Brazil. Like, I'm gonna get the numbers wrong.
I hate Sean, bro.
But like, the worst city in the United States, I think it was 2022 or 2021, had like 800 murders, something like that, which is an obnoxious number. It's fucking insane. And this city in Brazil had like 4,500. Like, it's like, what the fuck? It's
What
crazy what's going on.
Talking about
down
murders?
Yeah, that's
Murders, bro.
That probably is the same city where we started seeing the videos that we compared to GTA. Where it's like, if you see someone getting robbed, like you could just off them. I think that was the capital over there in Rio de Janeiro.
Like
maybe I'm not sure, but
yeah, that shit's fucking nuts, bro. Like, yeah, that's just crazy.
So, I mean, Chris, so do you think that there's a framework, like in your eyes, do you think that there could ever be a time where something like that could work here in America? Like what
So,
they're
like,
doing?
the conclusion that I've reached by myself with very little information is that you can't respect people's human rights and use mass incarceration as a tool at the same time. Like those two things won't work at the same time, right? If you're going to use mass incarceration to make things better, you have to take away people's rights. If you're not willing to take people's rights, then you have to take another way, which is probably the better way anyways, is rehabilitation, spending more money on keeping people from committing crimes in the first place. Like that's, as with all the resources that the United States has, that's the route that we should be taking regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that should never work in the U.S., especially with a lot of racial undertones. Fuck no, because then you just gonna start getting so much like random people off the streets just because people feel like it. Like that shit ain't gonna work, man.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, and they've done it. It's not like it hasn't happened. It's done. They've done it. Like
they've done it in so many different eras. Like,
and the statistics have proven that that shit hasn't worked. Like it's not effective. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the war on drugs was when they tried to do it in one of the biggest, and that shit, fuck no. Like that shit got worse.
yeah, niggas made more money. There was more people on the streets. It's just not. It's not effective here. Like we need to go another route. I really think that in El Salvador, they're just like, you're playing Bad Bunny. They're going to fucking take you out their car and beat the shit out of you and throw you in jail. I really think that's what's happening.
That's crazy.
Like, I really think that's what's happening, bro. Like,
not Bad Bunny, bro. They like Bad Bunny out there, man.
They're going to be like, yo, like, that music's too loud, sir. I'm going to need you to step out the car.
Man, he said Mexican rehab is better than U.S. as long as the bill's paid. You ain't leaving.
That damn Manny.
Did we just lose David or did I freeze? Am I frozen? Damn, did I freeze? I froze. I froze. Hello?
Bro.
Yeah,
hello?
I do want.
Here we go.
What?
I'm back.
You uncultured. Uncultured. You ever heard of the Migos album? It's the same word, but with an "un" in front of it.
What did I miss? My shit froze.
We were talking about Austin said he was terrorizing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Austin did mention
they making a new Budokai too, which is crazy. I just saw the trailer the other day.
Is it gonna be on PC? Because I need it if it's on PC.
Probably not. Probably later.
Damn. All right. So I'm not gonna hold y'all. I do not remember what the third topic was.
It was Ant-Man.
There it is. Dan, hey, this is why we've been waiting for you to get here, so that way you could make sure I know what's going on. Good fucking call. So yeah, I watched Ant-Man this weekend with my girlfriend.
You're not gonna get a spoiler warning?
Spoiler warning, we're gonna talk about Ant-Man. If you haven't seen it, get the fuck to the theater and go watch it, or just stop watching from this point until like.
I haven't seen it.
I think the Twitch froze too.
I'm down for spoilers.
You said what, Danny?
I said I haven't seen it, but I'm down for the spoilers because of all the bad reviews. I'm really just gonna wait till it goes on Disney Plus and watch it, and so.
Bro, shout out to Disney Plus, man. That's just so clutch for for whenever these movies, you just fucking upload them onto there, and it's so nice and easy. That shit's fire. Shout out to Disney Plus. If I was to rate it based off of what I saw, I would give it like maybe. I'd give it maybe a 5 to 6 ish range.
Oh,
What do you give Thor: Love and Thunder? Like compare it to that.
That movie was
that
also
was
bad.
an 8, bro. I get Love and Thunder at 8.
Love and Thunder was also bad.
But is it like, would you rank it the same, like 5? Because I would have given
Honestly,
Thor like
now
a
that
5.
I think about it, they share similar principles,
I
right?
thought Ant-Man was better.
They share similar principles where the antagonist is really good, but you didn't spend enough time like watching him and the shit that he could do.
It's not a problem in Black Panther 2.
All right.
That was a good movie too.
I still haven't seen it.
I do think that maybe I don't know. I guess I could agree with Pete where Ant-Man is better than Love and Thunder. Like I could agree with that. But I really didn't like the end. I was pissed off that this man is fucking King the Conqueror and he really got fucked up by a bunch of ants and like that's how they won the fight. Like that shit really pissed me off. I thought that was super corny.
So like let's get to the more important topic because like it seems like Marvel has been fumbling more times than they've been hitting lately. I mean, is that fair to say?
I feel like the TV shows are better than the movies this go around.
I can't even agree because I feel like the only good show is Loki.
And then there's the What If show. I know the What If show has been really good, but outside of that, like I feel like the shows even have been, again, to Marvel standards, underwhelming. Maybe they're okay, they're fine, but they're not, So like, what's Marvel doing that what was Marvel doing before that they're not doing now?
I think what they was doing before, the characters that they could focus on before, they was able to at least portray them properly. These new characters that's gonna come on is God tier and they nerfed them. So in order to nerf them, you have to like water down everything about them. Like Kang, they watered him the fuck down. Like he was getting boxed by Ant-Man. I was like, bro, ain't no way, because like this man in the comic books defeated Silver Surfer and people like that, and he getting dog like Ant-Man hitting that nigga with haymakers. And I'm like,
bro,
that doesn't make sense.
Ants dragged him away, bro.
Yeah.
He got dragged away by ants.
So as somebody who has
as
somebody who has not seen the movie, you have something like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And I think there's a couple people on here who thought the movie was pretty good. I thought the movie was fine. It was okay. It didn't meet my expectations, unfortunately. And it wasn't because of a power scale issue. I feel like the movie itself is just not that interesting.
I think it's
like,
tough.
I don't think it has anything to do with.
I think with the other movies, like for all right, like when you talk about the Hulk is fucking OP, so it's hard to portray as like real life. But for the most part, I kind of feel like they were able to humanize the characters in a way that it felt real, almost like it felt possible, right? And like with these other generation, these other characters, like Pete was saying, like they're so fucking strong and they're so OP in the comics. Like it's hard to make that into like reality or portray it in a realistic way.
I feel like this is diluting everything.
But why do they have to do that? Because there's a bunch of aliens, a bunch of Thanos wiped out half the like what do you need to be realistic? You know what I'm saying? Like
it's not that it has to be realistic, but it makes it feel realistic. You get what I'm saying? Like it comes across as like, damn, like it didn't seem, cause like when you look at DC movies, bro, like fucking any of them of the most recent ones, it's just so character-y, like it's so cartoony, I guess. So then it's kind of like that, where on the Marvel side of things, it doesn't feel that way, or it hasn't felt that way. So then, in order to try to keep that integrity, they have to sacrifice certain things that doesn't make the storylines good or match up.
Yeah,
like I don't know if I don't know if I'm in 100% agreement with y'all, but maybe like there's something to what y'all saying. Like maybe like they're becoming so ambitious in what they're trying to accomplish. Like their goals, like before, it was just like a standalone movie. Like we're gonna sell a story about these particular characters, and we just have to make sure that we mention the stone, right? But now it's like these world-ending events in every single movie. So maybe there's something to that in relation to what you're saying. But like what I'm telling you is like I just feel like the writing overall, not just in terms of the conclusion or the characters themselves, but I'm talking about the plot, everything, for whatever reason, feels like took 2 or 3 steps back, bro. Like it just seems like these stories are not as entertaining or as
I
interesting.
feel like it
as
goes hand in hand because, like, with the DC animation, because with animation you could do so much more, right? They focus on story and they allow the animation be what it is, right? With the Marvel before, they focus on story and they built around that. With these, because of the archetypes that you have to nerf the story in order to play with that CGI and everything else that come with it. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like that's what this go around is starting to fail because, like, the fact that you have to nerf the story and then build around it, it already started off trash. Like, because even with Kang, like, Kang was the best part of Ant-Man, Jonathan Majors, like his character, right? Even the 2 parts of the end was better than majority of the movie when they show like all the Kang and they had like the meetings and shit. I was like, oh shit, that's hard. You get what I'm saying? But I know when they actually play to that part, they're gonna have to nerf that shit. Cause all those Kangs, they OP'd in a motherfucker. So they're gonna nerf it so Ant-Man could box them again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is gonna be trash. Like, I already could see it because even when they introduced like Iron Lad and all these people to fight the whole Kang Dynasty because that's one of the movies they already have it. They're gonna nerf the shit out of everybody, like everybody. So the story gonna be so watered down. This is gonna be like, okay, like at that point I'm just there for the CGI, really.
So like that was the end of Phase 4, right? Like Ant-Man's the last one.
I think so.
I think we're in Phase 5 already, aren't we?
Well, I think Ant-Man is the end, and now it's Phase 5.
Yeah.
Okay, you might be right. Yeah.
So, what are our thoughts? Like, what are our expectations for Phase 5? Is Marvel gonna fix it and get back on track, or do you think it's just downhill from here?
I think it's downhill.
It's over, bro.
The only thing I have faith in is Spider-Man.
Like, I really think Marvel did something that was unprecedented. They gave us something, they set unrealistic expectations for themselves. And to expect them to be able to deliver on those expectations again might be unrealistic. I think we got to kind of chalk this up as these are going to be really beautiful movies that you can see in the theater. Every once in a while, they're going to hit you with something that seems really interesting. But more often than not, when you sit there and watch these movies in your in your living room, you're going to be like, meh, right? Like it's just meh, whatever.
The only, like, the most recent Marvel movie that I felt like lived up and exceeded expectations was the last Spider-Man movie.
That was probably the best movie of Phase 4.
I mean, everybody says Black Panther met expectations. I haven't seen it, but
Wakanda Forever was pretty good.
It was good, but Spider-Man was like, if Spider-Man was S class, Wakanda was like A.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Spider-Man was just different because I felt like Spider-Man had the story. It played to the nostalgia aspect. The visuals was great. The storyline was amazing. Like, it was like you couldn't really nitpick nothing. Aunt May died. That was fucked up because she's bad. But outside of that,
I mean, to be fair though, like Phase 3 ended with Endgame, right?
Yeah.
So Phase 3 has Endgame, it has Infinity War. What else does it have? It has the second Ant-Man, which is
Ragnarok.
It has Captain America, or it has
Winter
Captain
Soldier.
Marvel. It has Captain Marvel, which isn't good.
No.
Like Phase 3 is considered to be Marvel's Picasso, and they still had a decent amount of misses in Phase 3.
Yeah, but
so maybe
did they though? So there's Captain Marvel, that's a flop. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Captain America, Civil War.
I like Guardians 2.
Yeah, Civil War was good.
Civil War
was really
Black
good.
Panther, Spider-Man: Homecoming. That shit was a hit. Doctor Strange. I like the first one. I know, Chris, you say you didn't like it that much.
No. I'm all right with this first one. The first one's cool.
Oh, okay.
That last one was cheap though.
Yeah. There's Thor Ragnarok, which I thought Ragnarok was good.
Ragnarok is great.
Yeah.
Is that the one where he fights his sister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. That one's fair. That's a flop. Then,
that was all right.
That was okay.
It's all right. Then Avengers: Infinity War, Endgame, and then Far From Home.
Why aren't the Spider-Man movies
so
on Disney Plus?
the majority of those movies are fucking bangers.
Yeah, like
the majority of those movies are
yeah, that's the fucking
I'll fall back on my
lineup.
original point.
yeah.
I'll fall back on my original point. Maybe Marvel just set the bar too high, bro. Like maybe
They
that's
peaked in that phase. That was their prime, basically.
Yeah, it had to be.
That was Miami Heat LeBron, you know?
Marvel goes downhill, so now we're gonna have Marvel and DC just throwing out trash movies. Like,
what the fuck am I gonna watch?
What's crazy though is like
Daniel's movie, bro.
I don't think like even
Gorilla King,
like,
2025.
No. Mike, edit that out. What's it called? Even though I'm not a fan of what was the two movies that I seen? I seen the Doctor Strange movie, and I seen the one before that. Regardless of what
Love and Thunder.
Yeah, Love and Thunder. I seen Love and Thunder.
That was dope.
Both of those to me were disappointments. Both of those to me were disappointments, but they're not. They're significantly better than the DC movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, nah, don't try Marvel like that. Like, DC is trash.
Black Adam.
Suicide Squad with Will Smith. Was that
That's
DC?
That's DC.
Bro, that movie is so bad, bro.
Bro, I'm like so I was talking about this in one of my group chats from like my football team guys. And if I'm reading this correct, if they're reporting this correct, isn't DC having like 3 different versions of Batman going on at the same time?
Yes. Them niggas don't know what the fuck is going on.
Bro,
they don't know what the fuck is going on, bro. Like,
yeah, Shazam wasn't that bad. Black Adam wasn't that bad.
The new Batman wasn't that bad either.
It wasn't that bad either. That actually was solid in my opinion.
Nah, Pete, keep the same energy you had after you watched
good.
it, bro.
It was good.
Nah, bro, you said that shit, didn't you, Chris?
That wasn't me.
You know, I have CT, so I can't remember things correctly all the time. But didn't Pete say some shit like it was up there with Dark Knight?
No, that was Austin, bro.
Oh, that was
Austin.
Yeah.
That was Austin. And I flamed that nigga for that shit.
Austin, if you're still out there, it's still a terrible take.
That's fucking crazy, nigga. Like, what? That's crazy. But like, let's say Batman and Black Adam are both good movies. I mean, Black Adam, I have not seen it. I've seen the reviews. The reviews say that it's whatever.
Is the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, is that DC too?
No.
Yeah. Yes, it's bad. Yes, David, you made it.
Such a bad movie.
It's under Warner Bros, but it's not under the DCU. It's
still DC though. Related.
What about Birds of Prey? Where
I heard Birds of Prey was a fun movie. It's like a
I like it. I like Margot Robbie. I like Harley Quinn. I think she's a good character. Like that's probably the saving grace of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's everything that I've heard about that movie is that Margot Robbie basically carries.
Yeah,
Then outside of that, like she's basically LeBron James on the '08 Cavs. Like that's
she's
really
a good
all.
Harley Quinn. That's why, like, she plays to
She
that
put a
character
backpack
real
on and
well.
carried it.
Austin said, "Nah, he ain't flamey. No, it's not a bad take. Best take. Wanna know how I got these scars? I'm gonna tell you 3 different times in one movie."
Yeah, nigga. And I'm gonna sit there and listen. I'm gonna watch that whole movie to listen to those stories because it's very interesting.
Yeah, that shit was fucking fire, Austin.
bro.
What's wrong with you, man?
Fuck out of here,
The
bro.
Flash look like
The
it could
only
be
person-
decent.
A Flash, nigga. That nigga's fucking kidnapping kids, bro. What
No, I'm talking about the movie, man, not the guy. I'm talking about the movie,
here, bro.
I'm talking about the
canceled,
movie.
nigga. You canceled.
They didn't cancel him, so the fuck, like.
Wait, like
that's the craziest part. How do you come out with the movie after you're canceled, bro? Like that's wild.
Because I mean, you can't get canceled, bro. It doesn't exist. It's not real. It's a myth to be canceled.
Yes, the fuck you can't. Ask Kanye.
Kanye's getting his deal back with Adidas, isn't he?
No, he's not.
It's not. I've read that he is.
I think the agreement was to do something with the inventory they had or some shit like that.
They allowing the inventory that's already in there able to be sold, but he's not creating more anything with Adidas but that's a money move on Adidas because they about to lose $1.3 billion.
Yeah, because of the inventory they had.
Yeah.
Too much money in the movie. They pushed it back, says Manny.
Talking about the Dark Knight, bro. Like, let me catch you talking bad about the Dark Knight in real life, bro. Like, we real deal gonna box.
Yo, that shit's like terrible take. Like that shit's a 10, bro. Like Dark Knight is a 10.
And you see, like, this is the same nigga talking about the Star Wars movies are good, bro. Like, I'm telling you, this nigga also knows shit. That's why you won't pop up, bro. That's why you won't pop up. That's why you
Back,
won't pop
Austin.
up.
Austin, when you gonna come back to the podcast, bro? So Chris can roast your ass about your fucking Dark Knight take.
That nigga hanging out. He taking shots with Tommy, bro. Him and Tommy are drinking.
To me, Star Wars is like Lord of the Rings and like Minesweeper, like all that shit's the same shit.
Minesweeper?
David. Right, David. I hear what you're saying, but the detail that you're living out is that you're uncultured.
And RuneScape, like all that shit, medieval times.
He said,
like,
what?
I didn't fuck with none of that shit.
The nigga named the restaurant. He said medieval time.
That's just funny.
So, bro, I wish you were cultured because
all that stuff is the same shit to me, bro.
I would like to share culture with you, but you know that's what it is.
Also said, Lord of the Rings also one of the top grossing franchises of all time.
Lord of the Rings is actually good though.
I never got into it, but you know.
I can get into it either.
I mean, what's that other good shit? Tron?
Yeah, I'm about to say if your attention span sucks, just say that. But
I've been said that. I've said that for years.
So then say
Game of Thrones. All that.
I like Game of Thrones.
All right, so nah, David.
No,
David.
time out.
Chris,
Shut up.
Let me talk to him.
Oh my
because
God.
David, I promise you, bro, I was on the same side as you, bro. I was like, no, that shit's trash. That time period is terrible. Fuck that. But then I actually watched it, bro. I watched it, and that shit is hard, bro. Like that show.
I'm watching something.
All right, Rook, you're done, Rook. What I'm saying is, like, have you seen an episode of Game of Thrones?
Probably not.
Nah, I'm not interested.
So what are you talking about?
Shit, I'm not interested in, or never have been interested in.
What I'm saying is that it's it is the best written show that I've ever seen in my life. The fact that niggas carry swords is the reason why you're not gonna watch it.
House of Dragonfire too. Your brother even
like they carry swords.
They do.
I'm less interested now, bro. You fucked it up, bro.
That's crazy,
David. Bro, I promise you, dog. I'm telling you, I literally was like, nah, I'm not watching this shit. I don't like that time period. Same shit. These men are running around dirty as shit with swords and all that. David, that show goes crazy. It is a very good fucking show.
So like, if them niggas was like selling drugs on the corner, you would watch it.
No.
Tammy said there's naked
He's a
women
liar,
in there.
bro.
You heard
Danny?
naked women. There's naked women in there. There's some bad ones in there too now.
That's not enticing either.
What?
I don't watch
Isn't
TV for
that why you watch Euphoria? Isn't that the only reason you've seen Euphoria?
No.
Isn't that the reason you see it?
He said, "Well,
Nah.
He said, "Well."
What the hell is this?
I enjoyed Euphoria because
right, and then I tell this nigga, and then I tell this
me of my
nigga.
life in high school.
Wait, hold up.
Then I tell this nigga that he's not into movies, and I'm somehow the villain.
You're a cop.
I want to,
yes,
guys.
you're the villain.
Hold up. I want to do an exercise here. Briss, who's the main character in Euphoria?
I have no fucking idea. I've never seen an episode.
Bro, the girl from Spider-Man.
Mary Jane.
Emma Watson?
No, the new Spider-Man.
oh,
What
Mary
the
J.
fuck?
The new
Is it
MJ,
Emma
bro.
Watson?
That Tom Holland is in love with.
Oh,
Damn.
Zadaria.
That's what I wanted. I wanted
Zaza, bro. A bag of meat, bro. Zaza.
I wanted a karaoke pronunciation from this guy.
Nah, bro. I know what you're talking about, bro. I got you. I feel you.
The Emma Watson, that's crazy.
My guy, Daria. All right,
say
man.
Xenon, the word princess.
Bro, this fucking live chat right now is a little too horny for me, bro. We gonna have to turn this shit off, man.
Yeah,
what do they say? What do they say?
We're all adults here. Most of us. Yeah, no.
Austin said David should get interested into
bro.
some females better than a little
what I'm saying,
22
David,
jaw guy.
like it's cool.
Cheaper than
it's
OnlyFans.
Cool
Sydney Sweeney's boobs.
It's
Come
cool
on,
to watch some shit just for some titties. Like, I'm not mad at you. Every once in a while.
I think that's a little creepy.
No,
bro.
listen. Every once in a while,
it's healthy.
You can take the time to watch some shit that's like actually well constructed, well written, that also has titties in it, right? Like, I mean, you could do that too. Like, you know what I mean? But, you know, whatever. I know you're not into movies. You're probably not into TV shows.
He like Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was good.
Everybody like Breaking Bad, bro. It's like you into music because you like Drake. Like, what does that mean, bro? Like, you know what I
mean? I didn't like
David, bro. I promise you, dog. Just give it the.
It's the whole like medieval stuff, bro. Like
David, I'm telling you, bro.
Oh, I didn't like Harry Potter. Like I was never interested in Harry Potter either, bro.
That's not the same thing, though. That's not even close.
It's all the same to me, bro. Harry Potter.
I promise you, bro. David, I was on the same page, man.
Medieval
like I'm telling you. Bro, I was on the same energy, David.
Bro, no, you're not like me.
I was. And then I watched.
How about listen, David. Look, nobody's trying to hear your sympathy story. Like, how about World War?
I'm trying to tell this motherfucker to watch the show.
How about World War II? Like, do you see World War II the same way you see Game of Thrones?
World War II, like the actual war,
like war movies, like Black Hawk Down,
because like you're saying, like you have.
I seen Zero Dark 30 when they got Osama.
Nigga,
I found that to be interesting.
All right, so the point that I'm making is that most of these medieval times movies are based off of a time period that actually existed. So are you mad that these movies have shit that doesn't make sense in them? And I know that's not the truth because you watch Marvel movies and you like them, right?
That's nerdy too.
You're okay with fiction. So are you not okay with historical timepieces?
Nah, I'll be watching historical stuff too, though.
Like what? Don't tell me Zero Dark 30 because that shit was like 15 years ago. I'm talking about like actual historical time.
American Sniper.
I see Narcos.
Yo,
that
right.
Y'all seen UNCURO whatever. You're uncultured.
You just call me a cunt?
No, you're trying to spell uncultured.
Oh,
karaoke.
Karaoke.
Yo, on that note, bro, we gotta go, man. We're at time.
Danny was about to say something.
I was gonna say if you guys seen or maybe Pete, you seen Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I should check
really
it out.
interesting.
You recommend it?
Yeah,
He's not gonna watch it.
not for you.
No,
that
I'll
would have
watch
been hilarious. That would have been hilarious if David is like, "Yo, you recommend it," and Danny's like, "Nah, that shit's trash." I just wanted to mention it. I just wanted to mention it before we logged off.
That's what I did with the Joker earlier. Asking if it was DC. I just wanted to shit on it a little bit. That movie was fucking terrible.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That Joker movie was not what I expected it to be. I'm not gonna call it ass, but I think it was a bit pretentious. Right up your alley, Austin. Right up your alley.
All right. If you're watching the end of this video, like, comment, subscribe. Helps us end up on more people's timelines. Help us grow. We'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.